Now at 5, authorities respond to a vehicle crash in Crawford County involving a pedestrian. Plus, the state of Oklahoma carries out its first execution of the year. And
voters in Jasper County are being asked to approve a sales tax to create a fund for children's services. I'm Samantha Walker, and I'll have that story coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Jasper County voters will soon be asked to approve a quarter-cent sales tax to create a children's services fund. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Tanya Bach. Jasper County for Kids says the tax would generate $5 million annually for children in Jasper County. KOAM's Samantha Walker spoke to organizers to learn why they say the fund would provide stable funding for area organizations.
The Jasper County For Kids Coalition is made up of volunteers and organizations, hoping to help support area children. They came together when they saw Jasper County's rank drop within Missouri Kids Count, a nonprofit that tracks the well-being of children in all 114 counties in Missouri, from best to worst. In 2024, Jasper County ranked 98th.
Agencies who work with children, the schools, other agencies that work with children, and they've just seen it, and they know this is an opportunity to possibly have additional services that could improve those scores again.
They're asking voters to approve a quarter-cent sales tax to create the Children's Services Fund. Funds would be required to stay within Jasper County, helping give stable funding for mental health, prevention, and drug and alcohol treatment services.
I think there are many examples here in town, or here in the county, of shortfalls, not because they're not providing good service. They are. We have great agencies providing great service, but sometimes there are more children to serve than there are spaces in a given service.
If approved, funds would go to organizations like here at Rafa International to help support their mental health services for children in Jasper County.
Mental health services are very rare in the area. All of our therapists hold long waiting lists, and that's the truth for other agencies as well.
If Rafa International were to receive support from the fund, they say it would go to help their Hope and Healing Center.
A fund like this would really help us to offer more consistent services, make more services available to people, and help families who might face financial burdens or barriers whenever they're accessing mental health treatment.
10 other counties in Missouri have used the state statutes to establish a Children's Services Fund. Jasper County for Kids says those counties have seen improvements to their children's well-being. They want the same for Jasper County.
What this initiative represents, I think, is just all of us taking responsibility for caring for the children in our own communities, in our own county, and making sure that everyone has access to the treatment that they need.
Reporting in Jasper County, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
If passed, the sales tax supporting the fund would have no set end date. Jasper County voters will see the proposition on their ballots April 8th. Authorities respond to a vehicular accident in Crawford County this morning involving a pedestrian. The reports came in at around 11:16 at the intersection of K47 and 190th in rural Girard. Police say Erin O'Connell, an 18-year-old from Pittsburgh, was crossing the highway when she was struck by a pickup. EMS transported O'Connell to an area hospital where she was flown to Tulsa for further treatment. She is listed in critical condition. Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty joins us now with a first look at weather.
Well, it turned out to be a much cooler Thursday, but we don't have the winds, which are great to see. Those are going to return tomorrow, by the way. 52 in Joplin, 52 in Pittsburgh. A little bit shy of where we should be for this time of the year. Most of us low to mid 50s once you get into our western counties. For the evening hours, 50s, 40s, eventually 38 to about 40 later on tonight. We do get some clouds increasing once again, but the winds increase again. Gusts 35 to about 42-ish as we go into Friday. They'll calm down a little bit Friday night and then start to increase again once we go into Saturday afternoon. But we have a lot of clear skies. We have a weak system which is going to pass through tomorrow, but our temperatures really warm up. Most of us will go into the mid to upper 60s for afternoon highs. Some thunderstorms in the forecast. We'll look at that here in a bit.
All right, thanks, Doug. A federal grand jury indicts a Commerce, Oklahoma man and woman for the murder of a toddler. In addition to a charge of second-degree murder in Indian country, Daniel Allen Ash and Amber Dawn Murphy have been charged with neglecting 4 other children. The two are accused of unlawfully killing a 2-year-old in their care. They were arrested in the case originally in September of 2024 when the crime happened and remain in jail. Ash has also been charged with aggravated sexual abuse of a minor in Indian country. Officials in Lamar, Missouri begin repairs after vandals destroy parts of the bathrooms at Wheeler Park. They say the park experienced 2 separate incidents this week alone. Officials close park bathrooms during the winter to avoid breakage from the cold temperatures and usually open back up in the spring. They say these vandalism incidents may cause delays and expect the repairs will cost more than $1,000. The state of Oklahoma carried out its first execution of 2025. Wendell Arden Grissom had been on death row for almost 17 years for the killing of 23-year-old Amber Matthews and the shooting of Amber's friend Drew Kopf inside Kopf's home near Watonga. Kopf was shot several times but was able to escape. But Grissom shot and killed Amber as she was shielding 2 young kids.
I wouldn't be here without my family and Amber's family. And, you know, the victims are often pushed to the side. And you guys really need to remember her because she was unbelievable. She saved my kids.
Protesters gathered outside the governor's mansion in Oklahoma City this morning ahead of the execution. Grissom was pronounced dead at 10:13 a.m. Still ahead, protecting your family.
For National Poison Prevention Week, a local doctor says how you can protect you and your family. I'm Lonnie Walton in Anderson. I'll have that story coming up.
But up first, the Southeast Kansas store along Route 66 celebrates its 100th birthday. Well, Nelson's Old Riverton store in Riverton, Kansas is turning 100 years old today. Originally opening on March 20th, 1925, this iconic store sits on Route 66. Leo Williams built the store in 1925, and it was eventually passed down to Scott Nelson, who's been at the store for more than 50 years. And all that time, Scott says, after 100 years, not much has changed.
It was always, she didn't want to change anything. And so she drilled that in me so much when I was a kid that I don't want to change anything. Like even when I deal with our wholesalers and they've got something coming on and they're changing something, I said, well, you come over here someday and you'll see why I don't exactly want to change the way you want to change, because we kind of like it the way we've got it here.
Nelson says the store is planning a big birthday celebration this May. Well, this week marks National Poison Prevention Week, a time to raise awareness about the dangers of poisoning and how to prevent it. KOAM's Lonnie Walton spoke to a pharmacist from Alps Pharmacy in Anderson, Missouri, about the challenges he's seen, particularly when it comes to overdosing.
I'm Lonnie Walton in Alps Pharmacy. I spoke to a local doctor and he says there are several things you can do to protect yourself from drug poisoning.
I have to go to the doctors every 3 months.
Linda Davis is a customer at Alps Pharmacy in Anderson. She says she has to use drugs daily, but she knows how to keep herself from making major mistakes.
Mine are all separated out for me. I don't ever keep them together because that's how you make mistakes.
And she's correct. Separation is key, according to Dr. Cody York.
I've seen people bring in bottles that have 2 and 3 different medicines in it and aren't sure what they are, and that is very, very dangerous.
And Dr. York says he really means this.
Even if it's a medication you've been on and it's an old bottle and you want to put it in the new, absolutely do not do that.
Dr. York says labels are important, therefore make sure it's there.
If you have an unlabeled product, never ingest it unless you are 100% sure you know what it is.
David says she knows exactly where to go when she needs help.
Have any issues too, I call down here.
So anytime you're taking something over the counter and you're unsure of how to use it, I would highly recommend you call the pharmacy and talk to a pharmacist. We can kind of guide you through that dosing.
And lastly, let's not forget about those kids.
Keep your medication in a cabinet locked out of reach. If you are able to reach it, they are probably able to figure out how to reach it as well.
Reporting in Anderson, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
In addition, health experts say never share prescription medicines. A little later, big honors for a Pitt State women's basketball player. John Dales has her story coming up later in sport.
Plus, our temperatures warm right back up as we go into Friday. Also, the winds. Well, it turned out to be a much cooler day for us today, below average, as we should be topping out around 61, 62, but still not a bad day. Now it's Thursday. Our new drought tracker always updates on Thursday, so let's take a look. Of course, we are now in the spring months. It is spring, so we want the rain. We still kind of have a moderate drought, really from northeastern Oklahoma, Benton County, and then up towards Springfield. Most of southeastern Kansas, northeastern Oklahoma, just dry, but we could take any rain anytime we can get it. Temperatures right now, it's 50 in Monette, 53 in Anderson, 55 in Veneta. Chanute checking in at 56 degrees. Through the evening, slide back 50s, 40s, bottom out 38-ish to about 40 degrees. At least the winds, they took a break today, but they're coming back on shift for us tomorrow. They're going to get moving again. We're going to have gusts 35 to 42, 43-ish. Not as bad as what we had yesterday, but still up there. They calm down a little bit tomorrow night and then increase again with our next wave on Saturday, but not too strong. Winds kind of gusting 20 to about 25. Clear skies, not much going on. Here's a weak wave, slides to our north as we go into tomorrow. Then right behind it, we have another wave which will start to affect us as we go into Saturday, giving us chances for showers and thunderstorms. All right, let's go through time. Whew. That was a hard one. I tried to keep it in. All right, tomorrow morning, we're going to start near 38 to 40 degrees. We're going to have a lot of mid and upper level clouds as we go through the morning hours into the 60s by noon. Most of us will top out 66, 67, so about 5 degrees above where we should be for this time of the year. Could see a sprinkle late morning, but that should be about it. Start sunny skies on Saturday. Mid and upper level clouds increase again, but look at our temps. 70, 71, 72 degrees. It's Saturday evening that we got to keep our eyes on because showers, thunderstorms, here's 8:30 p.m., will start to pop up. These are going to be elevated base. Surface base are the tornado makers. Elevated's more kind of hail and wind. And we're going to see these kind of blossom as we go through the evening. So we do have a threat for strong to low grade severe storms. We'll keep our eyes on this over the next 48 hours and then pushing east as we get into Sunday morning. All right, Friday day planner 43 to start, 58 by noon, high temp 67, so looking pretty good. Let's go into your weekend. 71 Saturday. Again, strong to severe storms Saturday evening. Some morning thunderstorms on Sunday, but still high temp right around 66 on Sunday afternoon. As we go into Monday, a little bit cooler behind that storm system, kind of near 60, and then Tuesday we start to warm things right back up. So overall temperatures, not too bad. All right, 67 Friday, 71 on Saturday, 66 on Sunday. But then look at the stretch of 70s most of next week, which is pretty good news.
Mm-hmm. And probably not for the allergy sufferers out there.
No.
And people who like to sneeze.
I know. This studio just has my number.
Sorry, I know you were trying so hard. All right, thanks, Doug. Well, it was definitely nice to get some sunshine and a break from the wind for Joplin's first Thursday event of the year. This is a live look from downtown Joplin for this evening's event, which actually kicks off at 5:30 p.m. There's quite a few people there already. The monthly cultural event features local artisans, music, entertainment, and of course, food. And this month's theme is Go Green Downtown. Still ahead, Carthage High School baseball plays its first game of the season on its brand new field. And Pittsburgh State women's basketball previews its trip to the Elite Eight. John Dales has those stories and more.
Pitt State women's basketball hits the practice floor this afternoon in preparation for its trip to the Elite Eight. The Gorillas will face Lubbock Christian on Monday night in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And right now, they're keeping their head down, not paying attention to the outside noise.
Just kind of focusing on being true to ourselves and doing what we do because, we know nothing about these teams we're going to go see and just kind of doing what's got us here up to this point because, we've done a lot of good things this year, and so just kind of taking each of those and keep continuing to grow on us.
We haven't really looked back much. We haven't really looked forward much. It's just what's next. And so I think just to look at Lubbock Christian and just try to stay in your routines as much as possible. And that's what I think it is, just such a hard place to be in, where you really do want to take it in. But if you do that too long, you start to lose time and lose focus and all those things. So it's been, it seems like the time is just going through the hourglass so fast, like water, not sand. I mean, it's running so fast. And so we're just trying to really keep up.
And this morning, Pittsburgh State senior Grace Pyle receives honorable mention All-America status, which makes her the 10th player in program history to be named an All-American, and the first since 2018. Now, because the team was practicing while those lists get released, Pyle actually didn't know about it until hearing this question. This morning, you got named an All-American. What does that mean to you?
Oh, that's pretty awesome. Individual accolades, though, don't happen without great teammates. So I'm just really have to shout out my teammates for pushing me to be the best player I can and, helping me get there. That's awesome.
You didn't know that?
I had no idea. No. Thank you for telling me that.
And just over a week ago, Carthage High School holds a ribbon-cutting ceremony at its brand new baseball stadium, the McCune-Brooks Regional Hospital Trust Baseball Complex. And this afternoon, the Tigers play their first official game on their new turf against East Newton. It's opening day for high school baseball in the state of Missouri. As we come on the air, Carthage leads 7-2 in the third inning. We'll bring you highlights from this one later tonight at 9 and 10. Today is also the first day of March Madness. We've got 16 different first-round games in the NCAA men's basketball tournament. Just under an hour from now, this is the game you'll get right here on KOAM. 10th-seeded Arkansas takes on Kansas, who earned a 7th seed in the tournament. Jayhawks finished 6th in the Big 12. The Razorbacks were the 9th place team in the SEC, and they're one of 14 teams from that conference to earn a bid to the Big Dance. Then at 6:35 over in Wichita, Missouri faces Drake, and you can watch that game on True TV. The Tigers, well, they're another representative of the SEC. They're back in the tournament after winning just 8 games a year ago in the entire season. Now Drake, they're led by first-year head coach Ben McCollum. He came to the Bulldogs from Northwest Missouri. So yeah, he was coaching against Pittsburgh State and Missouri Southern in the MIAA just a year ago. So far for the games we've already had, we got one pretty big upset, McNeese State. They win their first NCAA tournament game in school history. They beat Clemson 69-67.
Back to that response from Grace Pyle.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool that you got to break it to her.
That was funny, being the one that tells her, yeah, you're an All-American, because she had no idea when she was practicing. But yeah, definitely well-deserving for her.
And I love that her very first response to that still sounded so humble, and she was like acknowledging her teammates in that first thought too.
Yeah.
Impressive.
Very.
Well, that's it for sports. Here's a look at what's coming up on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. A Southeast Kansas store along Route 66 celebrates its 100th birthday. Plus, as our COVID 5 years later series continues, we take a look at the impact on travel and tourism and find out where the U.S. ranks in the latest World Happiness Report. Those stories and a lot more tonight on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. Final look at weather?
Yeah, it looks pretty good. It's going to be chilly for us this evening as we drop back upper 30s, but 67 on Friday. It is going to be windy. Winds kind of returning, gusts at 40, 43-ish. 71 on Saturday. Some evening thunderstorms Saturday evening and Saturday night into Sunday morning. Some of those could be strong, possibly severe. So we'll keep our eyes on that the next 2 days.
Perfect weather to head out to Third Thursday, though, for sure.
Yeah, except for us.
I know.
We don't get to go.
Final sports note.
I'll have a lot more on those March Madness games later tonight, and also on opening day over for Carthage High School baseball.
All right, thanks, John. Thank you for watching. Due to coverage of the NCAA men's basketball tournament, we will not have a 6 o'clock newscast this evening, and our 10 p.m. news will run late tonight. In the meantime, we'll see you on our sister station for KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. Have a great evening and an even better tomorrow.